Good afternoon. My name is Jun Dai. I'm from Rutgers and I'm now a PhD student at the Car Lab. So today I'm going to present a project called Imaginary Audit 4.0. So this project comes from the idea that a very hot topic is now discussed in the manufacturing industry domain. So there are many emerging technologies that are now using in the manufacturing and to monitor business activities, to monitor manufacturing processes, etc. So we think that since those technologies will be or has been implemented to the manufacturing processes, and many data are now collected. So what if we use those technologies and those data for audit purposes? So that's why Professor Rossarelli and I put together a paper to talk about how those technologies can impact audit professions and how it can push forward to a new generation of audits called Audit 4.0. First, let's talk about the motivation and the contribution of this paper. As I mentioned, there are many technologies, new technologies now being used in manufacturing domain, manufacturing industry. Those technologies include cyber-physical system, Internet of Things, Internet of Service, and a smart factory. So cyber-physical system is a platform that integrates both physical world and virtual world to monitor physical business processes. And Internet of Things is a network of objects that all the objects in this networks can communicate and share information with each other. And Internet of Service is a platform that all digital services can provide it through internet. And the smart factory is the new diagram of factory that utilize all above technologies to provide a more precise, flexible, and intelligent manufacturing environment. So these technologies all together promote a new industry revolution called Industry 4.0. These terms first become known in 2011 at the Hanover Fair. And since it appears, it catches attention from both industries and academia, and as well as government. So the German federal government announced Industry 4.0 as one of the key initiatives to implement the German High-Tech Strategy 2020. So we can see that this Industry 4.0 is catching attention from various areas. So we think that since based on this revolution, we can utilize those technologies that has been implemented in manufacturing domain for the audit purposes. So this paper foresees the impact of Industry 4.0 on the audit profession and imagine how it can be used to change the audit environment. So this is a definition of This is the definition of Audit 4.0. The Audit 4.0 will piggyback on the technology promoted by Industry 4.0 to collect financial and non-financial information and use various data analytics models for the purpose of providing effective, efficient, and real-time assurance. And because it's a piggyback on the Industry 4.0, it's just it's typically an overlay of this Industry 4.0, but for assurance purposes. Here is the revolution from audit 1.0 to 4.0. So audits has been performed manually for centuries. And start from 1980s, auditors start to use some software to perform audit processes. And now in the big data era, auditors start to focus on using non-financial technologies, non-financial data and technologies to perform more precise and timely audits. And finally, we think that audit profession will move forward towards the fourth generation, which use the sensors, cyber-physical system, Internet of Things, Internet of Service, GPS, etc., to achieve a semi and progressively level of assurance. And now I'm just going to quickly go over how the audit world will be like in Audit 4.0. This is the overall picture, and it's mainly consists of two parts: the physical world and the mirror world. So in the mirror world, there is so everything in the physical world, it has a virtual reflection in the mirror world. So all the activities and the conditions of the objects in the physical world will continuously transmit to the mirror world. So in this picture, the companies, their business parties, audit firms, and audit service vendors all transmit their data to the mirror world. So now let's take a look at how the audit world will be like between companies. So the companies and the suppliers will transmit their accounting information to the mirror world, and if the companies made a purchase with suppliers on credit, its accounts payable and the supplier's accounts receivable can be matched and performed automatic information. And the customers and the banks also transmit their financial information to the mirror world, and the mirror world can automatically match the corresponding information of the customers and the companies, and also the bank and the companies, they can automatically match the corresponding accounting information to perform a flexible and timely assurance. And when drill down in a company, then the audit world will be like this. So all the physical objects of the companies will keep transmitting their informations, their activities, their history, and their conditions to the mirror world. And for example, the products will be equipped with sensors and computers, and their conditions, their activities will be transmitted to the mirror world, so that the mirror world can timely catch the slow moving or damaged product. And also the machines can also submit their information to the mirror world, and the mirror world can know the wear and tear of these machines, and also can keep monitor their activities. And all this information can put together into a repository, and auditors can build models and digital services based on those data, and also build those models into the cyber-physical system that has been embedded into business processes, and those models can keep monitor the business activities. And the final part is audit service. So in the future, the audit service will be more digitalized, and auditors can provide services based on a cloud. So all the companies can provide their data on the cloud, and auditors can build models, continuous auditing apps, etc., to monitor and analyze those data. And also audit-related service vendors can provide further assistance on the softwares, on the analysis services, etc. To help audit performance to do better auditing. And finally, there are some challenges of Audit 4.0 adoption. The first one is digital crime. It's because when technology is used intensively in the Audit 4.0, therefore, if auditors or other management will misuse this technology, it's very hard to catch this misuse. And also, the security and privacy of companies' data is very important in Audit 4.0 because many companies' data will be transmitted to other parties. And finally, the information and data should be standardized to allow very efficient information transmission between different parties. Thank you.